We're obviously at a stage as a country, we left the European Union and we're looking at trying to foster new trading relationships with them and with the rest of the world, and chlorinated chicken seems to become the sort of the buzzword thing in the press that they've used to label these discussions around our future trading relationships. What's your sense of the things we need to be thinking about as we head into 2021 where all of this is firmly on the table?
From a point of view of trade, I don't mind trading with people who produce to the same standards as I do. I mean, it's interesting you mentioned chlorinated chicken, because I've just done a conference with Aviagen, which was American based. And one of the interesting factors that we learned was they clean their chicken out every 4 to 5 crops, whereas we do it every crop. But that obviously makes them cheaper. So I think you've got to look at the reason why they're using, well, not chlorine, acetic acid and things on their chicken now, and it's basically because their chicken, even after they've been washed, are as bad or as good as ours are with bacteria, and they basically, that's the reason they do it. So I think the problem I have is that trade has got to be fair trade, and therefore the stuff we import should be produced to our standards. Obviously, and I mean that in a nutshell is what I'm doing, but the problem with imports are that if you get sort of one pallet load of chicken come into Smithfield at 15 pence a kilogram, then suddenly that goes around the whole of England, and that becomes the new base price for our chicken, which is totally unreasonable, and it's only just the sort of the one pallet. I think on trade too, we have to start shouting more about what we do and start worrying less about who we're going to trade with. I mean, I've sold other products in my life, and we can spend a tremendous amount of time talking about American chicken, whereas what we should be talking about is British chicken, how good they are.
Absolutely. And there's obviously been some, you mentioned selling the base price through other imported product. Is that something that's happened previously?
Oh yeah. I mean, yes, it used to happen. When I'm pretty long in the tooth, as you can see, and I mean, I was selling chicken before we were in the EU, and we became the dumping ground of Europe, and that is my biggest fear, is that European chicken is fresh chicken, American chicken will be frozen. We are predominantly, in our industry, we are a fresh chicken marketing business, and if they start allowing chicken to be dumped from Europe into us at very cheap prices, because whether you like it or not, the British consumer is not over fussy on where the chicken comes from, or any other product for that matter, in agriculture. And I think that is the bit that really worries me most, is that we become a dumping ground for European chicken. If they're having problems selling their chicken, they'll just dump them into our marketplace. And they did that back in the 1970s, 80s and 90s, and it used to cause an enormous amount of problems for us.
But on the flip side, as you said at the end there should be enormous opportunities for this country, given how we've invested in our farms, in our supply chains, and in our practices to be selling what we do to the rest of the world.
Oh yeah, because we have a blinking good product, and we need to get out there and market that. Why should we become the dumping ground of Europe? Why should we be dumping stuff the other way, quality stuff into their marketplaces and making them worried the other way? I mean, we just don't seem to have a mentality to do that, especially in the chicken industry. To do that, we seem to, but maybe we need to change our mentality and start trying to export more. We do export a lot of breeder products, but we don't meat.